Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony, the handsome fellow. On my left, your right is Uncle Sharma. We are back, new It's a Worldwide channel, same content, nothing to it. I just want to give a nice little shout out to the first 150 that made the jump across without me even putting up any sort of content. That's a really nice thing to see, and I promise to keep working hard to make sure a lot of the content keeps coming around over here. But more importantly, let me introduce my awesome guest who's here to talk about the first half of the season, which really went well. Uncle Sharma, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm glad to be on the channel, as you said, a new channel, but the same old stuff. We're always linking up, trying to link up as often as possible, as much as our time zones allow. But I'm excited to talk about this great season. As you said, 2021 in general, the whole year has been amazing for Interisti.
It has been an amazing year, man. If I could, I'd go back even further, because if we were to extend this video into the Conte era, we'd probably have another 30 goals to talk about, another 11 victories to talk about as well. It's been a stellar 2021, man, in a year that's been very turbulent in the outside world. The intersphere on the pitch has been very kind to us, Zil. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the campaign under Limone. Limone Ball started off with a gun going off against, our own personal whipping boys of the last 5 years, Genoa. Probably the best way to start the season, to be honest, man. It was like giving us a kick up the cooler first go. But this was the start of what is still being quite silenced at the moment. You want to talk about this one for me, Zil?
Bro, yeah, I remember. I think we did a watch along to this together. I think you came in with me. I did a watch along, and you came in the second half, and we commented on that goal live when they went in, and we were talking about Milanisti being salty, and we're spreading that salt bay on them. But after that he went a little bit quiet. But since the Milan derby, this guy's just grown and grown. But this started off with a bang, bro. Started off with a bang, and yeah, like that. I think that was the match that even if Interisti were doubtful, you thought, okay, I don't know what was doubtful about, because these guys are ready to go again and to kick ass in this league.
Yeah, it was one of those opening days of the season where everything right for pretty much everyone. Even big smiles from big Vidal in this game as well. Who got a goal
even
as well.
Sensi started this game.
That's it, man. Arturo also provided the assist for Dzeko's first goal, which are first of many at the moment. So it was one of those goals where everybody feasted on a piece of the pie, Zio, and we moved on pretty strong to our second match of the season, and it was all about ice cold Tuchel ripping that amazing strip. I've got to say, he wears it a lot better than I do. I know your reaction was really good to this one. I was actually watching this one in the morning, and I've got to give a mention to the commentator, Patrick Kendrick, who was commentating this match. He got me out of my couch big time when Tuchel got that goal. I was already excited, but his commentary was amazing. And yeah, this was a really good game to win, Zil.
Yeah, bro. Like, the guy came in. I think I didn't even think he had a training session with the team, because he literally signed the day before, and like Wesley Sneijder vibes, just straight onto the pitch. And yeah, 2 goals, and both of them were like really good goals. Like, that header is really underrated. I think we'll talk about goal of the season later, but I feel like it deserves a mention, because that header was Hernan Crespo would have been proud of that header.
Oh man, tell me about it. Guys, thank you very much to the 11 people that are joining us. There are 2 people on our old YouTube account. Do us a massive favor and just shift over to this one and subscribe. There's going to be hella momentum on this channel coming over the course of the new year. So fantastic win against Verona. Inter go 2 from 2. We watch a couple of other teams slip, but we also watch a couple of other teams get some impressive wins as well. And we start to look at who we might have to look side onto for the first half of the season. This game, obviously a little bit disappointing. We came up 2-2 against Sampdoria. Decent showing from the boys, but really, I thought we were going to put this game away when Lautaro put us in front on the 47th minute. Not to be. It was a game of what ifs, but we moved forward pretty strong after this 1-0.
Yeah, I think this was one of the first kind of missteps, and this is one of the match I actually missed live and had to rewatch afterwards. But yeah, it was one of those matches where we're like, not sure, are we the real deal? Can we break down these deep block teams and things like that? But yeah, it was great to see Di Marco with that beautiful goal, though. Finally, a nice free kick goal.
Yeah, absolute bullet, man. Absolute rocket of a free kick into the top corner. I dare say he probably should have made his one from 12 yards count, but we're getting to that in a second. So still decent to make sure we get that point and move on, because after this, the boys were cooking once again. It's just one of those seasons where You look at the game, Zil, and you think to yourself, and I'm just going to sidetrack a little bit conceptually. There are so many fixtures in this season where Inter know all you got to do is win this one, and you can almost afford to slip up against some of your more near rivals. And these games are none other than the exception. What would you say, Zil, from Limoni ball versus Conte ball at the start of the season? What stood out for you this season in terms of being a little bit different? Me personally, I thought we were going to see the Conte blueprint and Simone's tweaks at the start of the season, but it really wasn't. This team was really actually made to shift quite heavily from a defensive back setting 3-5-2 to a more free-flowing attacking, more integrating with the wings up front. What was the biggest tactical change for you at this point of the season, from Conte ball to Inzaghi ball, Zil?
Yeah, I think it was from the first games, you could straight away see that rotation in midfield. Everyone was like, we knew the guys had very specific instructions on the Conte, and you could see it a lot of times. But it seemed like, you'd find Hakan on the right-hand side at moments and Barella on the other side. You'd see just the rotation. Everyone was allowed to move around much more freely. So that's definitely one thing that stood out to me at the beginning. And we've seen that further and further as the season's gone on with the marauding centre backs coming. You can find, Bastoni in the box or D'Ambrosio in the box or Skriniar in the box, that they're allowed to move around the pitch. That's the biggest tweak I've seen from Inzaghi. So shouts out to him.
Yeah, very well said, man. This particular image is obviously from the game where we whooped Bologna. Nothing like a good bologna sandwich on that particular day, man. 6-1. It was actually pretty vicious, to be honest. A good win there. We actually come up against them next year, man. So another quick sidetrack. How do you think we'll go in our first fixture back, seeing as though we whooped them 6-1 at the San Siro?
Yeah, they're gonna be wanting a bit of revenge. I'm sure Sinisa Mihailovic is gonna make sure those guys are fired up for this one. But I'm expecting a win. I think Correa will be back. I think Darmian will be back. I think everyone's back by then, and everyone should be refreshed. I think the team needed some rest as well. So I think we're gonna kick their ass again.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Sharma for moving this along so efficiently with me. I love linking this up. We've actually got a little time to sidetrack to some of the loyals who have come over to the new channel. What's going on, Kudo? It's good to see you. Ricky Buzz is here. I was just about to do my video on the mid-season. You make sure you do that, man, so I can check it out and make sure I can share it on Twitter. Ricky says, Inzaghi ball, Buzz ball, Conte ball. Come on, man. I'm one of the last Inter fans online that say, can we guys stop hammering our former coach that brought the first Scudetto back for a long time? I mean, I just sneakily went I put a bit of money on Spurs to finish fourth, Zil. So I'm telling you what, man, they're realizing pretty quickly what the Conte effect is, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, bro. Like as we just talked just before we came on online, like Man United not going for Conte still baffling to me. Why wouldn't you go for Conte when he was right there?
Yeah, man. It's like having premium A-grade food at a buffet and then going right to like the soggy hot chips right at the end of the aisle, man. You got to really take that prime rib while it's there. Franco is back. It's really good to see you. And, of course, some of the other loyals like King Darian, thank you so much. Steel Devil, Future Hendrix, everybody making the jump across, which is very, very nice. Zeal, next game, personally for me, one of the best of the season because I love nothing more than beating good, difficult sides that are in form. And we came up against a Viola side that was flying high under Italiano. I gave them the utmost respect coming into this game. I thought this game, we're dropping some points here. I really think that Vlahovic and everybody in that side, big. I remember when I started doing this, you compared my physical appearance to Giacomo Bonaventura. I swear to God, if I had 10% of that guy's output this season, he's having a great season under Fiorentina, but it wasn't to be. And something that really impressed me about this one, Zio, this whole concede the first goal against Verona, concede that first goal against Fiorentina, and basically reset and come back stronger. This was a very good 45 minutes, man. That second half against Fiorentina, you could watch over and over again.
Yeah, but at the same time, they kicked our ass in the first one. That's the match that, going off track of us. I think that was the match where I'm like, okay, this Fiorentina looks like the real deal this season. But at the same time, yeah, the way they pressed us, I was like, there's no way these guys can keep up for 90 minutes, whatever they're doing right now. So yeah, I think that's the match that, reminded people that these are winners. Like, this is the winning mentality. It doesn't matter what happened in the first half. They came out second half. The big boys stepped up. Matty Dom stepped up, and we took it home.
Yeah, we really, really did. Next game, very frustrating, albeit we really, really should have won this one, man. A game of a million emotions in the last 4 minutes, as you would expect in an Inter fixture. 2-2 against Atalanta. Not a bad result, just not a good result considering we had a spot kick with about 4 minutes left of regular time. DiMarco steps up, smashes it the same way he smashed a free kick without realizing he's got 6.5 less yards of space to work with, and it just doesn't work out. Sharma, what was your reaction after this result, man? Did it leave a sour taste in your mouth going forward?
Yeah, this one was the one where I started to have a little bit of doubts about, the tactics, in terms of we were starting to leak too many goals. Even this one, we could have won the match, but we also could have lost the match. So it was the one where I'm like, we're definitely still the best team in the Liga, the way we did outplay Atalanta, but at the same time, the Handanovic was also shaky this match. So the few talking points that we talked about at the beginning of the season were like flaring up. So this was the one where I'm like, okay, Simone, time to tweak some things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we'll go on to the next game in a second. What's going on? Danielle coming in from Pakistan. It's really good to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing well with you and your family. Ben is back, as I knew he would be, on the new channel. So is Rami. Salem, my boy. Good to see you. Massimo DiMarco says, better strike partnership than Lula. What's up, boys? I got to admit, it was nice seeing Rom. I'm finally getting a goal for Chelsea yesterday. One of the toughest first half in the entire season. Yeah, against Viola. Yeah, it was tough, Franco. It was very, very tough. And Abdul is here from Libya as well. What's up, my brother? Keep it going. We definitely will. Next game, Zeal, another good one. Another one of those results where, it's not supposed to be easy. And if you're going to suffer some adversity, at least you come back stronger. We went down 1-0 to Sassuolo and ended up coming back to get the 3 points again. And I just really like seeing this sort of fight, this sort of season where you concede the first goal and you come back stronger. I love seeing that sort of thing. We had to wait until the 58th minute to get on the score sheet. And then Dzeko, after scoring the first one, rounds the goalkeeper. Lautaro, more confident from the spot in this game. In hindsight, him walking up to the spot hasn't been the best idea this season, but the 3 points against Sassuolo secured with Lautaro's spot kick.
Yeah, man. This was the match. I think Dzeko came on as a substitute, if I'm correct. He just came on and changed the match. So I think it reminded people that, some people were doubting him, that this guy is really important to this team already. And similar to the Fiorentina match. I think this one just, again, it was showing some signs that, something needs to be tweaked. We can't be conceding this many goals. And it's probably the worst match for like Skriniar of the season as well. Like, he got beat by Boga for the goal, or he conceded a penalty. Like, Skriniar never gets beaten 1v1, and he was beaten there. But they turned it around once again in the second half, showing that winning mentality again.
Yeah, I remember watching Dzeko and Vidal on the sideline about to come on, and they were mouthing to each other. And later after the game, we actually found out that Vidal was mouthing to Dzeko, "We need to go on and kick everybody's ass." And that's that 68 years of experience between two players saying that. Ignore the fact that you're a nonno put together. Like, you're both there. You've done what needs to be done all the way into stoppage time and more. So. Yeah, all the more play to them. What's going on, Gerald? It's really good to see you here again. It's good to see 16 people tune into this video. That makes me very, very happy moving forward. If you are on the old account that says Inter Worldwide Extra, do us a favor and migrate over to the new one here. The link is in the description as well. The win against Sassuolo really sort of set the tone for us after that, and I thought we were going to move forward. However, we suffered our first real big setback of the season in a game where I thought we were very good in the first half. Sharma, I was watching it at home with a couple of friends at a very awkward time of the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I had 2 people over my house watching this game, not Inter fans, obviously. They thought I was absolutely nuts. But we opened the game with a Perisic penalty. But after that, it was like the dominoes were falling really, really poorly out of our direction. Nothing went right in this game, and during the game, I was actually having those sort of thoughts that you were having against Atalanta. When this game happened, I was like, is this the sort of game that makes this team sort of regress a little bit? Some of the nooks and crannies start to fall apart. Quite the opposite, bro. But however, nothing went right in this game, especially in the second half. The head started to drop.
Yeah, bro, this was the match that definitely, and I think this is the match where Inzaghi said him and the coaching staff definitely started to make changes with the balance of the team. And as you said, we didn't actually play that bad. Inzaghi claimed that this was our best away performance of the season up until then, which I'm not sure if I agreed, but it showed that we were okay. And then there was just fragility up until that point in the season at the back. You can see that Skriniar getting beaten in the air, which I don't really see that happening. Just shows what was going on. And of course that DiMarco incident. Lazio, we'll get him back, by the way, the next match. they've got something coming. So Jerry and your boys, you better watch out, because I'm
We are
sure the
going
boys
to
are still
waste
thinking
them.
about that.
We're going to waste them next game, man. Like, they have been in some pretty poor form lately in the league, and I'm very, very confident about us going
I
there.
hope Felipe Anderson doesn't play that much though. This
Yeah,
guy
me either.
turns into prime Ronaldinho against us every time.
Yeah, it's good these days because players are not having the fixture of their career against Inter anywhere near as often as they were under the Banter era and Spalletti era as well. Remember, Inter was basically the game where everybody could go and pretend that there's 1,000 scouts in the stands and they're ready to go. Crazy stuff. What's going on, Histo? One of our brothers of the world. It's very, very good to see you here. Falcon Warrior says, "What did I miss? Not too much, man. You missed about the first 6 or 7 fixtures of the season, but you come through just in time to help us go through the rest." Danielle says, "Not new here, bro. I watch all your posted videos and Uncle Sharma's too. We are forever grateful for you, man. Thank you so much for giving us some purpose in this. The Lazio game is going to haunt us in February. Come on, Eduardo. What are you talking about there? We've got nothing but time to make sure that game doesn't haunt us. Come on, man. You've got to be more positive that we've dropped 1 full game in Serie A this season. So a little bit less of that. Going into the next one, very important fixture to keep our heads. I knew going into this one it would be tough. I knew going into this one it would be a game where we walked out of the stadium knowing that we were better, but coming through with that win, it was very important. And for us to only be able to come away with a draw after this one left a proper sour taste in my mouth, because nothing makes me dirtier than Juventini fans who didn't deserve the win, who get on their high horse and say that they deserved the point. They didn't deserve jack from that game, Zil.
Yeah, this was the game where I'm like, I'm not afraid of this Juve this season at all. Like, they came and there was nothing about Juve that like impressed me, and nothing. And yeah, the penalty they got out of completely nothing. You know, it felt bad for Dumfries as well. It was that was the game that kind of put the doubt by the looks of it in Inzaghi's head, but definitely in the fans' head about Dumfries. And I think in that game, Inzaghi made a mistake. He should have brought on D'Ambrosio. Like, when you're trying to close out a game, you just bring on the experience there. But yeah, this game actually made me confident about going forward. I was like, there's nothing to be afraid about Juve, and this Inter team outplayed Juve. So these positive signs they're gonna help us going forward in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd have to agree. In this match here, it was pretty much about walking out knowing what's at stake and knowing where we can go forward. So I would agree with Zil there in the sense that we walked out of there as the better team, knowing that going forward, as long as results go our way, we couldn't really see Juve matching those results. And that was pretty much exactly what has happened since then, albeit they're nowhere near out of any sort of race just yet. But no. I'm sure if you asked any of them, they would swap positions with us in an absolute heartbeat. We went back to Empoli after this game, and a team who has been graduated from Serie B, and I think, to say the least, has impressed everybody, flirting in the top half of the table in that 9th and 10th position for the majority of the back half of the first half of the season. But this was a vintage Inter performance where you call on your boys who know the weight of the badge, you call on your boys to rotate, and like you said, and like I've said, you know, death taxes Danilo D'Ambrosio at some point at the back post. And Danilo D'Ambrosio came through once again, man. 3 points against Empoli.
Yeah, exactly. D'Ambrosio, I think that was his first start of the season as well, just coming through, reminding us, you know, that he deserves more time. Alexis as well, this match was good. And I think I gave my man of the match to Di Marco in this one, who was really good as well. So yeah, overall, good team performance. And yeah, even Lautaro. I think Lautaro was struggling up until this moment, but he had an assist for the Di Marco goal, so he was showing signs of waking up again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Gerald says that game versus Lazio was the best game, Lazio's best game of the season. Definitely, man. Rami says Napoli to play Juve with 4 key players missing. I'll touch a little bit more on that as the fixture draws closer, man, because that's a long way away. A lot of stuff could change. Christo, I need a mic upgrade. Negative. I need to find out how to connect the mic to a mobile handset. So you're just hearing me speak through the mobile at the moment. I've got a couple of USB things I'll play around with at some point today. Zil, we're going to keep moving on. At this point of the season, we were pretty much around about the same point we were under Conte. We were trailing by about 5-6 points at the top. I was a little bit nervous because it's one of those gaps where even if you don't deserve to be that far away from the top, you still can be. And that can start to bring across its own sort of psychological challenges. It was at this point in the season, however, where we basically said, 3 points are compulsory against the next 4 or 5 teams going forward. And like ice in his veins again, I wish he played a little bit more so far this season. Tuco Correa absolutely bombed. Udinese absolutely killed them when he came on the pitch in that game. What was your thoughts there?
Yeah, this was probably his worst game in the Inter shirt, apart from until he scored the 2 goals. Him and Dumfries. I remember them getting booed in the, San Siro crowd. We know it's just so demanding. These guys, one bad touch and you're in the bad book straight away. But yeah, Tuku showing exactly why we signed him, scoring a goal out of nothing. Who else can dribble for 30, 40 yards and score that type of goal? And the second goal as well. Like, this is the reason why he's there, but also showing us the reason why he's not been a bigger club. He's 27 now. He's finally at a big club, but because he's so inconsistent. Hopefully, he stays a bit more fit, man. Because I really like Tuku, and he's just one of those guys that he's so inconsistent. He gets a lot of flack, and the price tag doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. I remember at halftime, man, the slander he was getting at halftime in this game, it was one of the bigger roasts that we've seen of a player this season.
Yeah, so, I was getting so many tweets because I'm like known to be, the Tuku fan, and I'm getting so many tweets about, this is your guy, 31 million.
That's it, bro. You just stay consistent, man, because you've got a good track record of shutting fans up, man. So you just keep it up, bro. Stick with your boy because he's gonna come good. That goal, that finish there was absolutely sublime, man. I really, really loved it.
He's brought us with these. So that match, he literally brought us 3 points on his own, and the Hellas Verona. So he's literally brought us 6 points on his own.
On his own, man. Like that's the mark of a classy player. As you said, he just needs to stay consistent. So the word at the moment is that he's returning straight after the break. He probably could have made the bench in our last game against Torino, but why aggravate that when you've got 2.5 weeks basically to rest up? So do you expect him back straight away?
Yeah, I think Inzaghi's gonna ease him in like he was doing at the beginning, just 10-20 minutes at the end of matches. But yeah, just gotta get him match fit again, because Inzaghi said that because he knows Correa well, because he had him at Lazio. He said he felt that Correa was really hitting top form just as he got injured against Roma. So we need him to start hitting that form again once we hit that late January, February busy period.
Yeah, 100%, man. So with our attack, would you say it's pretty much set for January, knowing that Tuchel's coming back, or do you think we need to add one more name to make sure that we progress through this season unscathed up top?
I mean, stylistically, if you ask me, I think we need one more big guy to like back up Dzeko. But I think numerically, we've got more options that we had this season than we had last season. So I think we're fine. Plus, we've got Satriano as the 5th guy, who's in case of emergency, I think it's not a bad emergency option. So I think we're going to be fine to the end of the season. But if you ask me, ideally, we need a Scamacca type in there, or someone to bring through, because Dzeko's not going to be around forever. But that's my long-term thinking. I think for this season, what we got will do. But as long as Tuku and Sanchez, both of them are injury-prone, can stay fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to get 22 people on this stream. There are 10 of you watching from the Inter Worldwide Extra page. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Do us a favor, make sure you come across and resubscribe over to the new channel. Just after the new year, all content will be pretty much exclusive on this channel and this channel only. Moving on to yet another derby. Let's call it the 8th or 9th derby in a row where Inter completely dominated. It's only the 5th or 6th one where we came away with all 3 points, but Zio, I can't remember the last time we walked off a derby pitch saying, ooh, we got lucky there. Less of that. We are walking off this pitch going either, well done, good win, or come on, how did we not win this game? This was another one of those ones, man. We had a blank period for about 12 minutes in the first half, which De Vrij unfortunately had an own goal, just doing his thing, trying to defend that set piece. Came out 1-1. Another big game this season, Zio, where we walked out going, should have got those 3 points.
Yeah, similar to the Atalanta game where you're like the superior team. And then we had, the last 10-12 minutes at the end of the match where, they had a few chances as well where they feel like they could have won it. But overall, of course, the incident with the Lautaro penalty, I think this is when we also start having the conversation about should Lautaro actually be taking the penalties? Should Hakan be the penalty taker? But yeah, again, similar to the Juve match, coming out and feeling like I'm not scared of this Milan team. We're the superior team. As long as we just start converting our chances, which has been a ongoing topic, and I think will continue being an ongoing topic for us Interisti.
Yeah, definitely, man. The missed penalty against Milan definitely haunted, but there was one way to make up for this, and this was the perfect way. Personally, my favorite game of the season. Sorry, my dog Vince is just looking at me. He walked in. He's adorable. Inter 3, Napoli 2. Inter finally beat their first big team of the season. Finally put their big dent in the title charge. This was the game where we just said, basically stood up and went, I hope no one's forgotten about us, because you'd be really stupid to be forgetting and sleeping on us this season. Zio, what a game. Inter 3, Napoli 2.
Bro, yeah, literally, we were begging to like finally win a big match this season. We were like, come on, this gotta be it. This gotta be it. And yeah, Napoli were the best team in the league up until that. You know, the best defense. Spalletti was doing his magic. And yeah, I think we've literally since then their season's like been on a downward trajectory, and our season's just.
Can I just say, man, I said this on Football Worldwide, the parallels between Spalletti's first season at Inter and this Napoli season. Oh my goodness, man! It's like everyone just swapped jerseys and went, "Do me, do you." It's crazy, right?
Literally, bro, literally. But yeah, this was the one that definitely convinced me, like, you know, where as I said, every big match has convinced me, even though we didn't necessarily win. But this one convinced me that we're, you know, the best team in Italy still. And you know, like their midfield, Fabian Ruiz and Anguissa were having like the time of their life until then, and we, you know, Hakan, Brozovic, Barella showed them levels, and Lautaro stepped up that match. We were waiting for Lautaro to step up. Correa stepped up again with that 40-yard run to create the Lautaro goal.
Oh, so good, man, so good. I think I might go. Actually, I think Inter's doing a premiere on their actual YouTube account where they're putting up a whole HD version of this game. So that might be some nice Tuesday watching. Yeah. What else we got? All right. I just want to give a quick shout out to my boy Louis from Canada. I knew you'd come in. Thank you so much for coming in, man. It's good to hear from you. After the win against Napoli, we basically were in a position, Zio, where we were looking at the calendar for the other teams and going, they're going to drop some points, man. It's inevitable. It's not an if, it's a when. Milan and Napoli drop points.
As Eduardo says, it's the last game we conceded goals in the league.
Is it really? Holy hell, it really was. We're going back that long. And since then, Spalletti has lost 3 or 4 games and has had a meltdown in the Europa League where he didn't even need to have a meltdown. You remember what he said on the touchline against, I forget, it was against Spartak Moscow or something like that?
He didn't shake the guy's hand.
Yeah. Well, that's peak Spalletti tip in mental form at this point of the season, man. What's next? All right, cool. Moving back to the fixtures, it was all about getting 3 points in the next few games, and we started off by beating Venezia as well by 2-0. Lovely going to the beautiful city, hipster FC as you call them. You know, I think they're more just happy to be around than anything, but they still made it a little bit tricky for us. It was really awesome. Only a fortnight later, they kept the old lady to 1-1 as well, which was very, very nice. This game, just another one of those grindy games, Zio, where if you want to win the Scudetto, you make sure you lock down 3 points against your Venezias, right?
Yeah, and Hakan with a long-range goal as well, just showing is that long-range ability that Milan fans said he doesn't have.
Love it, man, love it. That game, it was just really, really nice to see us get the points as well. I just remember it was 1-0 up until pretty much the last seconds of the game, and I thought, I hope this isn't a classic Inter where we concede a goal on the break here, but penalty to Lautaro Martinez, stress-free penalty, knowing that even if he missed that penalty, the whistle was the next thing after that. So easy penalty for Lautaro to get his confidence up there. You would have been forgiven for thinking that he would have carried on that confidence afterwards, but wasn't meant to be. But it was meant to be on this particular day. 3 points against Venezia. We go on to the next one, which, you know, was not easier by any way, shape, or form. It was almost a replicate result. We had to go and beat Spezia, if I'm not mistaken, man. So beating Spezia, just as important. 2-0. Thiago Motta not playing good football at all. I remember we had something stupid in this game, like 30 shots to 5 or something like that. I remember that. What do you remember about this game, man?
Yeah, it was complete domination. And yeah, I remember Gagliardini, Bobby Gag scoring. He did his best Thiago Motta impression with that goal he scored. It was a nice goal, link up with Lautaro. Yeah, just a solid win. I don't really remember too much from it. Just remember it was solid. Yeah.
Same here, man. But what I do remember quite well is our win in the next one, which this is the game that I thought I was rubbing my eyes. I'm like, is this Roma or is this the Venezia or Spezia fixture that we were meant to come up against? Because this was a proper relegation team performance from Jose Mourinho, man. I'm going to let you have your say because I was as psyched as I was to see him come back, and as grateful as I was to see him bomb against us, at the end of the game, I was stood there like, really? You didn't try a little harder in this one, man? Your ego didn't require any boosting?
Yeah, because we were all like, come on, Mourinho, he might drop every match, but this one, he's going to have them firing. This one, the Inter one, he's going to try to win at his best. And yeah, I think I don't know if the players stepped off the gas like on purpose just to not make it like embarrassing, but we could have made that really bad, in my opinion, because it was 3-0 at half time. And I still can't understand whether this was our performance of the season or was it that Roma were that bad. I still haven't quite decided which one of the two it was.
Yeah, man, I have to agree. It's just this Roma side who's picked up a little bit more form recently. But to be honest, I only really care about when they come to play us. And when they came to play us, it was nothing more than a whitewash. Matteo says that Roma game was the easiest win of the season. When we scored the third goal, I thought to myself, this is really having a laugh now, man. But all the credit to the gentleman. And just a little side note, Sharma, how do you think Jose and Roma are going to finish this season?
I think I predicted them to finish 6th. So I think that's about right. So improving from last season, I think, from Fonseca. But I think that's just this level of their squad. I don't understand why people expect them to be challenging for top 4. That team is just not ready for top 4. There's some good players, of course, but they need more and more investments, which looks like Jose is getting more than Fonseca. But yeah, I think, and I don't think that's a bad. If they finish 6th, I don't think that's bad. That's an improvement for last season already.
Absolutely, man. And with a couple more signings, Jose will be confident that he can steer the club somewhat in the right direction. He's done a half-decent bang-up job so far. I think I've got one image too quickly here. This is the boys celebrating against Cagliari, if I'm not mistaken. 4-0, another whitewash, another smash-up, another good game from Hakan, basically making sure that Twitter is a dead field with that straw ball running across it for a good couple of hours afterwards. But he's balling out, man. And I wanted to use this image in this game to sidetrack a little bit and talk about his role in terms of just being ever so present across that midfield. When he was playing for Milan, he had his small holes and he had his little red patch on the pitch where he would always run around. But for this Inzaghi, he's dropping back, he's making tackles, he's filling the hole for Brozovich when he needs to move forward, he's pushing forward in his natural cam position. He can even play off the strikers as well, and he is looking for the ball every time, man. You can even tell sometimes he's dropping backwards in order to break up the opposite team's attack. He's very fatigued because he'll be a part of breaking up that attack. And then when we're in the counter again, when he doesn't have the ball, he is sprinting full throttle to try and get there. I think it was against, it might have been against Torino, actually, our last game. He was still about 10 yards behind Dumfries after the goal, but I was watching him. He was sprinting hell for leather as if to say, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this. Hakan has nothing but my respect so far this season. So do you think he could take this form into the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think that's the big question mark with him. I think he's had purple patches of form at Milan like this, but well, actually not to this level and not this consistently. But can he keep it consistent? I think he will. I mean, I hope he will, of course, but I think he will because this is, as you said, he's in a different role. He's not expected to be the creative force of the team. Like, you've got Brozovic, Barella, the other guys there as well. He's the shoulder, he's not weighed down with the responsibility in this team. If he doesn't play well, there's other guys ready to step in. And I think, he's adapted to that new role now. I thought he would take longer to get used to this new role. And
me too.
He's looking really good. Like this is really what Inzaghi did to Luis Alberto, and he said it from the beginning that he wanted to turn him into his Luis Alberto, and he's done it. If maybe to an even higher level. I mean, not saying that he's better than Luis Alberto. I think on his day, Luis Alberto is still, one of the finest midfielders in the league. But what Hakan is doing, as you said, off the ball as well, Luis Alberto never had that. He doesn't have this tenacity and this, ability to slide tackle and win the ball back as well, which is Hakan is adding to. And the set pieces, man. This guy it's like having a penalty at times when this guy's on the corners.
Yeah, it's really, really good, man. So long may it continue because, a lot of people need to eat their words for that as well. Oh, my goodness, this was embarrassing. This was just not fair. This was not fair. Like, there are some games you just go and you're like, stop, they're already dead. And that's not even about on the pitch. This club is going back to Serie B to the point where they've orchestrated it behind the scenes in Serie A. Lotito has been granted an extension, and even though I read a few articles that changed by the couple of days saying that things are okay, things will be sorted, things are not okay, and things will not be sorted. Salernitana will be going down to B, and this was just a classic. We played them about 3 days after the meeting between the FIG GC and the 18 owners minus Lotito came through, and I'm pretty sure 17 of the owners said that they were allowed to have an extension to stay in Serie A for 6 months. Do you actually know who the owner was that voted to kick them out, Sharma? Sorry, the board. I can give you a clue.
Go on then.
No, I'm not even going to give you a clue. I'm going to tell you. It was ours. It was Marotta. Marotta is all for having them booted out of Serie A and going to
my guy.
Like, it's crazy. Like, he's the one that came out and said, like, no, this is bullshit. You should be going down to Serie B because, you know, you didn't meet any sort of deadlines. But for me personally, if I was a player in Salernitana, man, I'd be handing in my transfer request in January to say, you could send me anywhere. Send me anywhere that actually has a goal or a purpose for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Ribery, man. He should be like, I think he should be mid-table at least for this. He's still in Serie A. He still can do a job.
Yeah, I would agree, man. I would agree. But this game in general, absolute smash up, 5-0, nothing less than expected. And we really needed it, Zil, to go on to our next fixture, which was going to be a little bit tougher. Not the toughest fixture of the season, but definitely tougher because Ivan Juric has Torino playing very, very good football. But in this particular match here, it was all about one player and one player only, Denzel, the Demon, Dumfries. What are you saying about his rise in form? He had a couple. I'm not even prepared to say he was bad at the start. So what? He took a couple of games or 3 games to get used to it. Can someone point me in the direction of a fullback or a wing back anywhere in Serie A that comes in and takes the league by storm if they're not already existing as a Serie A player? Inter has done every sort of dip in the wing back, fullback pie in the last decade that you can think of, Zio. We have gone for every type of fullback in every league. We've tried bringing them over from Serie A teams. We've tried, you know, the Montoya experiment. We've tried the Biraghi experiment. We've tried the Lazzaro, the Cancello, the Vershalico. And, you know, at the end of the day, man, this one looks like he's here for the consistent phase of it because no one's going to come and offer 80 million. Paris isn't going to want him at some point. This guy should be our product to build from here. I'm really happy with Denzel Dumfries. And I said it at the start of the season, regardless of his technical and, you know, on the ball ability, you just went and bought the captain of a big Dutch side. You bought the captain of PSV Eindhoven. I know Dutch people. I know Dutch football to an extent. It's a very, very disciplined, professional race of people, footballers. This is their pride is a big thing when it comes to people from the Netherlands. You weren't picking up rubbish here. You were picking up the captain of PSV Eindhoven. And he's showing that sort of mental fortitude at the moment, bro.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one thing I had no doubts about with Dumfries. You could see, I mean, his face tells you everything. The guy is like, you know, in the zone at all moments, even when he scores, is always, you know, got that face on. But yeah, the guy is just like, you can see he's just putting his heart and soul into winning over Inter fans who, you know, as we said, like started booing him at one point as well, which was stupid. And yeah, as you, I don't think I'm ever going to be his biggest fan. Like as a player, he's not like my cup of tea of player, but this guy is such a smart signing. Like 14 million is a bargain for a right wing back of, you know, 25 years old, PSV captain, starter for the Netherlands national team as well. Louis van Gaal seems to love him. So yeah, and now he's adding goals and assists to his game. He's combining with Sanchez like Hakimi was. He's getting, you know, accustomed to the team. And I'm expecting him to be their starting right wing back by the end of the season, even overtaking Matty Dams as much as we love him.
Yeah, as much as we love Matty Dams, his injury was sort of, you know, I don't like saying things like this, but almost a blessing in disguise for Denzel Dumfries. He was just waiting for an opportunity to come in. And, you know, when you look at the fixture list at the time that it happened, it really couldn't have happened at a better time for an attacking fullback like Denzel Dumfries, who has very little to do against the likes of Venezia, Spezia, Salernitana, and Roma, if I can add that as well, for God's sake. Not only
the Flying Dutchman.
Throw a couple of Champions League fixtures in there as well. And that was a really, really good pocket for him to get into form. It really worked out well, man.
Yeah, he took the chance with both hands, man. He really took advantage. Yeah, like when you're given the chances, you have to take them, and he's done that. So now Inzaghi's got one more headache to think about.
Yeah, what an awesome 39 minutes it's been to review the first half of the season so far. I'm going to put Zio on the spot for just a few questions to the end. And you guys in the comments, let us know what you think about what we're saying. And if you want to drop in a couple of questions as well while you've got us, it's 8:30 in the morning for me. My day is just beginning. Zio's is coming to a close. Zio, best player of the season so far. And it can only be one.
Oh, don't worry. I have my answer already. It's Marcelo Brozovich. His stat wise is only on 1 goal, 1 assist, but the guy I think has had his best season until now in the Inter shirt, and he's elevated his game even more than I expected, and that's shouts out to him. The same as Perisic, to be fair. Like both of them, coincidentally Croatian, both on expiring contracts, both have been here around the same time, but have been showing the best form I think since they've been in the Inter shirt. But I think it has to be Marcelo Brozovich for me. I don't remember a stinker from him. But I remember many like man of the match performances or man of the match worthy performances.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Brozovic. For me, it was either Brozovic or Skriniar. But now, after hearing Zio just say, there wasn't pretty much one bad performance from Brozovic, I'm remembering Skriniar getting beat only about twice this season so far, off the top of my head. And Skriniar is one of those players where he's worked his way up to a point where, like, if you make one mistake, it looks like you haven't had a good performance, but it's not. For me, it's a neck and neck sort of thing between Brozovic and Skriniar, man. And I actually think both of them are due for a contract extension. Brozovic first, but Skriniar is going to get his straight after that. Zil, best signing, our best signing so far. Oof. It's a tough one, man. It's not easy because when you actually look at all of them in position, you say, well, all of these players have done their job to the extent so far. Would you just nudge it for Hakan?
It has to be Hakan, isn't it? It's the extra salt factor that just it tips it over. if we sign Hakan from like Sassuolo or like someone else, it wouldn't. I don't think it would have the same effect. But the fact that he has the cousins crying every match, and he's gonna drop off soon. Don't worry, we've seen this film many times. Just for that extra factor, it has to be Hakan. But Dzeko deserves a shout out for sure because he's outperforming. Like I wasn't on the Dzeko is finished type of train. I was happy that Dzeko's coming in, and I thought people were doubting him too much, but I didn't expect him to have like this type of impact where we're kind of relying on Dzeko. Like a lot of the times Dzeko needs to be out on the field a lot of the times.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
How many transfers, by the way?
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, after this season, obviously we'll get the second season out of Dzeko. Do you think he can have another season like this next season?
Yeah. I think maybe, I don't know to this level, but I think he's one of those guys. Like I feel like him, he takes care of himself. He's a proper professional. I think he's gonna be one of those guys that keeps going decent level. But I think we definitely shouldn't rely on him again next season. Like I'm already feel like it's borderline relying on 35-year-old Dzeko this season already. So next season we definitely should start to look to the future.
Yeah, fair enough. Brozo is our motor. He's one player that we can't have out. It's hard to replace him in that position. It really is, man. And don't worry too much, Eduardo. I'm like 90% convinced that contract is on its way because Marotta just doesn't play stupid games like that. He's not interested in stupid prizes for playing those sort of stupid games either. Zio, tough question. Do you have a favorite goal of the season so far? I know a couple of Tuchel's individual runs were absolutely brilliant. I know which one I'm about to talk about, but do you have a favorite goal so far this season in Serie A?
There's a few ones. We've scored some nice goals this season. Lautaro's one against Atalanta, the volley, that one stands out to me because
very good goal.
Yeah, and that's a very Lautaro goal. He loves all those. But I'm gonna go for I think the team goal, the one against Roma, where we like kept the ball for like a minute and they got nowhere near it, and Bastoni was in the box for touching it to Hakan and Hakan to Dzeko. Like just the whole team was involved in that goal. So that one really stands out to me. But as I said at the beginning, that Tuku versus Hellas Verona, that header, Hernan Crespo type header, that stands out to me as well.
Nice one. For me, of course, I've always got my Barella bias cap on, but this particular goal, it was one of the goals that got me out of my seat silently, not cheering. It was one of these ones like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, man, because that touch of class, just the combination between Dumfries and Barella and the no-look cross as well, to be able to send that into none other than Alexis Sanchez, who we're going to finish off by talking about here. For me, that's our best goal of the season so far, and I think Barella had a nice icy assist to go after that by putting it through to Lautaro as well. A little bit of a dip in form technically from Nico Barella, but I'm expecting him to have a pretty big second half of the campaign. A couple of questions for you, Zio. What are you thinking of Barella's form? How do you think he'll go into the next part of the season? But all importantly, I want you to talk about the importance of still having a player like this on the pitch. The debate was about a couple of months ago that with his wage and his limited output and recurring injuries, it would not be so much of a loss to get rid of him in January. I'm coming back and eating my tongue and saying it would be a serious dent to our title hopes if we would have let a talent, technical masterclass like Alexis Sanchez depart mid-season. What are you saying?
Yeah, bro. Like, I've always maintained the guy is still top 5 in the league in terms of technical ability. Like you can't say to me that Sanchez isn't good enough for Inter. The guy is good enough, very well good enough. But yeah, the problem is always been salary. That we don't pay out of our own pocket, but we know that affects Inter's ability to spend on the transfer market a lot. So it does. We do need to talk about it, and of course, the main part is the injury. So same as Tuku, same as Sensi. Well, actually, we've given up on Sensi, but it just needs to be. He just needs to stay fit, man. And as Inzaghi's clearly gaining, confidence in him as well now, quite rightly. Like you could say that when he starts, he's played better than some of our other strikers. So, and when you look at his goal per minutes ratio, his assist per minutes ratio, like he's really, really high. Not just this season, like for the 2 years he's been at Inter, his third season. So, yes, let's keep Sanchez until the end of the season, please.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Zio, that's pretty much all we're going to go through today. It's been a really good first half of the season. We're just going to finish off by hearing your predictions of how you think the season's going to shape out. I'm sure we'll link up, religiously from here until the end. But for me personally, I'm seeing that little bit of a charge from Allegri and Juve coming back to really make things difficult, not really for us, for the couple of teams above them. I think Agnelli and Juve know that to miss out on the Scudetto is not good. To miss out on top 4 is detrimental to progression of your club / business / organization / future in general as a human being. So I really think they go hell for leather to get that 4th spot. Me personally, I think Atalanta and Milan make things painful for us. As much as I would love to see Napoli be neck and neck with us at the end of the season, I have a soft spot for Napoli, having a lot of family there. Both of us have a soft spot for gentleman hippie Spalletti, but at one, you got to call a spade and go, bro, you're just showing us the same stuff that you showed us recently. And playing this sort of football with this Napoli side, who is almost replicating the 4-2-3-1 against, that he had at Inter, I can't see Spalletti finishing any higher than 3rd on the ladder this season, man. So I'm almost ready to rule them out of the title fight because it's Napoli and it's Spalletti. After seeing Milan's injury list and the way they perform on the pitch, Zio, it's hard to include them in the conversation with us, but it's impossible to leave them out, if that makes sense. We saw them grind out wins last season. We saw them grind a couple wins back this season. I still think that they're in it for the long haul, man. It's going to be us, Atalanta, and Milan, with Napoli, Juve, and Roma fighting it out for 4th, and 5th and 6th. That's my prediction. What about yours?
Yeah, I think I agree on Napoli. And I think the injuries have hit them hard. Osimhen's just too important for them. Koulibaly is just their 2 best players are out. So, and they're going to be out further for the African Cup of Nations as well. So, I think that this period is gonna hit them. But I think they're gonna make top 4, as you said. I think Spalletti just knows that's one thing you can guarantee with Spalletti. He's gonna get you top 4, even if it's on the last match day. He will get you the top 4. Juve coming back, but again, Juve had a easier run in recently. So the last few weeks they've had an easier fixture run in. So I think I'm waiting to judge Juve once again. But I think Allegri's been the disappointment for me of the season, because I was big on if same as we were talking about how why didn't United go for Conte? When Allegri was available, I was thinking that Allegri needs to be Inter's first choice, and then there was Inzaghi for me second. But what Allegri is showing to me at Juve is just seems like he hasn't developed. Really? He hasn't moved on, like 2 years out of the game, and I don't think he's brought in anything new. He's still playing the same football he was playing in 2015, 2016, and he doesn't have Higuain, he doesn't have Pogba, Pirlo, Tevez, all these, man.
Bro, I was watching their last 2 games and I was just shaking my head going, against a slightly better team, you don't get that second goal against Bologna, you're probably losing these games against Cagliari as well. So, I don't think that they'll give us too much difficulty, but you never say never with the dark arts. You happy with DiMarco renewing his contract, man? I'm very happy with it, to be honest. I know he's gotten a little bit of slang so far this season, but a good comment here. He's only 24 years old, Gerald says, and he still has a lot of room to grow. And, he's someone that already knows the weight of the badge. He loves this club. He loves everything about it. I'm excited for his future, man. I actually think, even though his present season hasn't blown the roof off us, I still think that he's going to be quite a good player for the future. I would go as far to say that, Tim, he's going to be a little bit more present than D'Ambrosio. I already value him a little. Technically, I think he's a little better than D'Ambrosio, although I can't say these things very loud. As you remember, Sharma, when we started doing these videos 2.5, 3 years ago, or whatever it is, you know, how many weeks in a row did I say players like D'Ambrosio have to leave? They're holding the club back, and now I wouldn't sell him for 20 M's, bro.
Hey man, you got the coats of the D'Ambrosio followers like Mario, and then will come at you.
Bro, they're always on my back, like waiting for it. They're like seething at it, man. Whenever it happens, I think they message me that he scores before he actually scores the goal.
Oh yeah, DiMarco, I'm very happy for him, and yeah, I think as Tim says, like he just he doesn't have that natural athleticism, which, you know, he's not his fault. You know, he's not been blessed with the pace or the ability of like a Perisic. But at the same time, as you said, like the guy is almost like having a midfielder at the back. Like he's so technically gifted.
Yeah.
Left foot is beautiful. When Hakan isn't there, he's the one setting up for set pieces. You know, he can score free kicks as we've seen this season. And yeah, he's just a useful, jolly player, you know, in terms of he can play left wing back, you can slot him in at left centre back, which seems like is going to be his position. It seems like Inzaghi prefers him as a left centre back, which is why we seem to be linked with more left wing backs at the minute with like Lucas Dean and Kostic and stuff. But yeah, happy. I think you need a player like DiMarco in the team, and he helps with the UEFA list and all that kind of stuff. And you know, we moan about how we don't give Primavera guys a chance. This is the one guy that's made it.
Yeah, exactly right, man. 22 people still sticking around. I see you all lurking around on the old YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Make sure you come across. Last comment of the day goes to Gerald. I heard we could let Kolarov go and bring back Van Hilsden. If Genoa are okay with it, I think we should take it because Kolarov wants more minutes. My question to you is, does he? Does he want more minutes? Bro, if I was Kolarov at his age, I would be on that bench in that dressing room going, I don't want to go nowhere. I'm about to walk headfirst into my second Scudetto. It took me so long to get that league title in Italy. I really think Kolarov is more than happy counting his grey hairs and counting his minutes on the bench, bro. Well, what do you think, Zio? Am I crazy, or would I actually think Kolarov saying, don't send me anywhere, cut my pay, put me here for free till the end of the season. As long as I touch that Scudetto at the end of the year, then I'll go happily.
Bro, that cameo against the Salernitana was just like the guy came on with his slippers on. He did not care. I think the guy should just start doing his coaching badges. I can see him becoming a good coach, something like that. But yeah, I don't.
The reason, Gerald, I don't think he's going anywhere is that I think that, you know, in order to not have minutes, you need to have a presence and a purpose. And you can tell that the sort of Balkan clan that we've got at Inter, your Skriniar, Dzeko, Kolarov, and all of the rest, like they really are their own little internal family within this club. I really don't think Kolarov's going anywhere because I think it would disrupt a little bit of the social construct with a few months to go.
Man, he needs minutes, the guy. Like, you can't bring him to be a bench warmer again. Like, the guy needs minutes. He's barely played football. He got injured again for Genoa recently, so he needs minutes, the guy.
Yeah, he really, really does. Guys, that's all we're going to have time for on this particular stream. Thank you very much for joining in. It was very, very fun to be joined by my very good friend, Zio. Zio, thank you so much for joining us, man. I appreciate your time, and we will continue to link up a lot more.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, make sure everyone, you subscribe to the new channel. You got to make sure the numbers are getting up. I want to see 1K coming soon, at least, because you at least had, you know, a loyal following that needs to be coming to this channel.
That's the goal, man. Road to 1K as soon as possible into the new year. We'll see if we can make it happen. So thank you from everyone here at Inter Worldwide. What's Inter?